What's up? I'm Sarah. I'm a writer and interviewer here with Banded PR, and I'm joined today by one of my favorite bands, the Last Bandoleros, who just dropped their new record, Tex Flex, today. How's it going, you guys?
It's going
Woo!
incredibly, actually.
Ooh, I gotta get one of those.
You will.
It's very
Good, good. All right, cool. So, just as a basic question, because there's probably going to be people watching this that don't know you guys, can each of you introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about yourselves, and how you got into music?
Yeah, I'll go first. My name's Emilio. I play drums and sing in the band The Last Bandoleros. And with my brother there, Diego, with the long hair. Um, our father was a musician, so we kind of grew up with music around the house all the time. It was kind of weird if once I went to school and started realizing that other kids' parents weren't into music, then that was a little weird thing for me. But I've kind of always been around it, and I enjoy Mexican food and barbecue and margaritas and beer.
nice. Yeah, kind of ditto for me there, brother. I'm Diego, play bass and sing in the band. And yeah, exactly what Emilio said. We've kind of always been around music, and I can't remember ever wanting to do anything else. Always been in and out of bands together. And here we are with our band, the Last Bandoleros, releasing our album Tex Flex.
Woohoo.
Jerry?
Hello, hello. Sorry, guys, you guys cut out on me again. It's weird. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
You know,
you must not be paying Google Fiber enough, man.
Yeah, I know. It's our Google Fiber. This is crazy because we just lost our electricity here at my house. The entire neighborhood, like 2,000 people in this neighborhood,
oh wow.
power went out. It literally came on like 5 minutes before this interview started. So thank God it did, because this would be so it could be the remnants of that. Wonky sort of thing. Nonetheless, Jerry, guitar and the Last Bandoleros, and we're here. I'm here as a result of playing guitar from the time I was age 10, I guess, 9 or 10 or something like that, because a buddy of mine down the street got a guitar and learned how to play Guns N' Roses. So
Hold on.
I would ride my bike down to his house, and I would make him teach me the guitar things that he would learn in a lesson. And our goal was to be able to play Sweet Child of Mine from back when. And eventually I started getting that riff down. And then I convinced my dad to buy me a guitar for Christmas like the next year. And that pretty much started it. That was the beginning of me being attached to the guitar. And yeah, never stopped since.
All right, very cool. So, you guys have, in some capacity, been a proper band as the Last Bandoleros for like 8 years or so.
Oh, geez, has it been that long? I think you're right, though.
Yeah, I hope I'm right. Otherwise, I sound like a fool. Anyway, so how would you guys describe the timeline of the band sonically from when you started to now to maybe someone who doesn't know you or your music?
Man, that's a tricky question. Also, it's funny, we don't ever think about how long we've been together. We just but I think you're right. Is that right? It must be, huh?
I don't remember ever playing until about 2015, but I would say that me, you, and Jerry started working on stuff probably before. So yeah, that's probably right. Shocking.
um Sonically, I feel like I don't know. I feel like we've constantly been kind of changing our sound, and that's probably just out of musical curiosity, Sarah.
Mhm.
It's not intentional, I don't think. It's just us kind of exploring our musical, like curiosities. I will say with this though, with Tex Flex, I want to say it's the most that we've ever embraced our culture.
Mhm.
And so I think we're all very, very proud of that.
Yes. Very good. Very cool. So you brought up Tex Flex, which is good because that's what I want to talk about. Before I ask any like detailed questions about it, what do you want to tell people watching this video about your new record? Like, what do you want people to know before they listen to it?
Uh, that's a good question.
I mean,
Uh,
it's tough because I've never been one for that. I've been in bands all my life, and when people are like, "What does it sound like?" or "What can we expect?" I've never really know what to answer because sometimes a meaning of a song can change for even the writers. So I don't really know how to prepare except like Diego said, it's a big slice of our culture. I think that what's cool about it is um it sounds like the soundtrack to a barbecue. Like I had here's barbecue again. Growing up, it kind of touches all of our musical influences, but it's really bedded in. To me, I hear San Antonio when I hear it, and I hear our roots. And I mean, that's kind of what you can expect with some 3-part pop harmony on it.
There's something I'm really proud of on the album is this is the first time we've done songs in Spanish, and some are Spanglish and some are absolutely all in Spanish. And I think there's a lot of kids that could probably relate to us because we aren't Spanish speaking people. We don't know it really fluently. We can't speak it well, but we could sing it because we grew up listening to it, and it was on the radio or in shopping malls, or for in me and Emilio's case, we were around it with our dad, and in Jerry's case, working as a young engineer and producer, he worked on some of those Tejano records, so he's very familiar with it. So yeah, it's a big part of who we are, yet we still don't understand the language fully, and I think there's a lot of people in our generation that will relate to it, and I think it's super cool. We like it.
Yeah. Well, I like it too. I've already got to hear it.
Oh, great. I was going to ask if you'd heard it yet.
Yes, I love it. It's so cool.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah. So correct me at any point on this if I'm wrong, but Tex Flex kind of started as a concept, and that concept kind of came out of this writing session you guys did with Shaggy, right?
How do you know all this? No, I love it. I love you. You're absolutely right. You did your research and did it well.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. When was that session, guys?
that was in 2020. It was the fall of 2020. It was I want to say, yeah, fall of 2020 when we I guess we were like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months: March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 5, maybe 6 months into lockdown.
Yeah.
And we had obviously everything was the rug was being pulled out from underneath us. And anyway, it was a craziness. But our manager Martin had this idea to drive to New York to Shaggy's studio, where he was obviously doing like very intimate like studio sessions with trusted tight circle of people, and we were lucky enough to spend a week with him writing, and our manager was there, and we were able to that's when this sort of birthed. It was the birth of this this sound. I think maybe it was our manager that coined the phrase.
It was Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is about it is, yes,
now anyway, sorry, Sarah. Go ahead. Hello.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just gonna pick up where you left off. The Tex Flex was definitely a term that was coined during those sessions, but I feel like at the top of the year when we became a 3-piece and we started to really think about what we wanted to do, I would think that we actually saw it a little further than what Maldita was, which was the track that we kind of coined the term on. And wouldn't you say? I mean, Maldita definitely fits, but it's definitely a little more realized now, I think.
Yeah, I also think to what I kind of said earlier, I think when we made a conscious decision to write in Spanglish or sing totally in Spanish, I think that's kind of where we're like, oh yeah, we're kind of really owning the Tex Flex thing.
All right. Very cool. So, as sort of a follow-up to that, what was the process of recording this album like?
It's funny. It's kind of like the process of all of our records.
Man, I can you
Man, you look crazy right now, Jerry.
That's a meme right there.
No, I'm gonna make so many memes, you guys.
Oh man. I wonder if he should just get on his phone.
Oh yeah,
Hello,
Jerry.
hello?
Jerry, try maybe getting on your phone to do it. What was
I am on my phone.
Oh,
I am on my phone. Okay. I don't know if it's my Bluetooth AirPods or what. I heard what was the process of recording? Is that the question? That
Yeah,
sorry,
right.
Sarah. I guess it's my internet. Hello?
yeah, that was the question, Jerry.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Go ahead, try to answer it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of, you know, like we were talking about with the Shaggy thing. This started back then, and it was a culmination of songs that we had worked on during the pandemic. It was songs that new songs we were writing, and then we were amassing an album. Ironically, the album that you hear right now is Tex Flex. There's probably a big batch of songs that I don't know if anybody will ever hear that were in consideration for this album, but we were constantly writing new stuff too. And I think songs that we only written in the last several months wound up making its way onto this album because it was a constant building. So we would record and we had already recorded some songs, then we would do some new ones, and then we go, oh, well, maybe that was, and then we would continue to go with more. So it was evolving constantly over the course of, I want to say, 2 years, especially when we were in pandemic and we couldn't do anything but record and write music, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of the way that all of the Bandos records are made. I never know we're making an album. We're just constantly working and recording, and then you know, we pick the best batch that we all can agree on without going ugh, or wanting to hit each other or something, and then we put it on a record. And
Funny that you said you never know we're making an album, because technically this is our first US album.
right. Well, that's not a live record.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
it was kind of the same process that it always is.
I didn't know we were making that live album either until someone told me you recorded it.
That's true.
All right. Well, since clearly this has taken place over a pretty long period of time, do you guys have any funny stories from the writing or recording process that you want to share?
I have a fun. You know what is a fun fact is 3 of the songs were written in one day.
Mhm.
With when was that? In February? Martin, was it February or April? Sometime in the early
Part of the year.
part of the year. Yeah, our manager Martin came into town and co-wrote 4 songs. I don't think we used one of them, but yeah, 3 of them were written in one day.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of funny stories, but is this a PG show? Is this a PG-13 audience?
You can say whatever you want.
Just kidding.
Yeah, it feels weird though, because Diego's right. So like we wrote 4 songs in a day, and a lot of the stuff came at sort of at the end of the recording process. As we said, we're going to release a record because we got this tour going on. We're going to release it June 30th. And then I would say most of the record came after that. Like the beginning of it, the Shaggy session has California Moon and Maldita. So yeah, that's taken place over 2 years. But everything else, there's been so much stuff that's come in and out between those 2 years. And I would say that when we could see the end in sight is when the bulk of the record came, which is I think is crazy, but I love it. I love it. It sounds fresh, which is great.
Fun fact for you, Sarah Brown. It was recorded in 2 basements.
Ooh, cool.
Shaggy's basement and Jerry Fuentes' basement.
Hey.
That's true.
Do you know which tracks were recorded in which basement?
Jerry probably does.
Yeah, the song "Every Time We Dance."
Here, Jerry, I'll read them off to you. Ready?
And then you say Shaggy or Jerry's.
Every time
Okay. Was mine.
Maldita Tex Flex version.
That was Shaggy's.
Shaggy's, I thought it was both. Fall in Love Again.
That was mine.
Moon. California Moon.
That was Shaggy's.
Friend Zone.
That was mine.
Mi Amor.
That was some at your house actually too.
All right. Somewhere in Texas.
That was here.
In
Nashville. In between was between Los Angeles and here.
That Kind of Cowboy.
That was here.
Sin un amor.
That was here.
Something Else.
Something Else was here.
Yeah. And then the other ones, California Moon, the Spanglish version is. Where was the acoustic version of Somewhere in Texas done? That's at your house, right?
Yeah, that was here too. That's another thing we were able to do, Sarah, on this record is because it's our first full length that we're actually releasing. As you know, when we were on Warner Brothers, they had us releasing singles because that was just sort of the plan, if you will. But so this is exciting for us because we get to actually put out an album the way that bands put out albums. And so when we do that, we get to like put like unplugged versions or like acoustic versions or versions in different languages and stuff. So that's what we're doing this time, which is cool. So
Very cool. So kind of in that same zone, talking about things that you get to do now versus things you weren't necessarily doing before. Something that really stuck out to me listening to the record were the 2 covers on the record, particularly the Eddie Cochran cover of Something Else. I was so pumped when I heard that. I was not expecting it. I loved it. But I wanted to ask you about both that cover and the Sin un amor. How did those find their way onto the record?
Here, why don't you touch on Sin un amor?
Sin un amor was a song that it's from an old bolero trio called Los Panchos in Mexico that became famous like early in the 1900s, 1930s and 40s and stuff. My grandfather used to sing their songs all the time. And when he passed several years back, me, Emilio, and Diego, we sang at his funeral. And by request of my family, we sang some of these Los Panchos songs. And that was one of them. And it sort of like made me discover this music. And we just started doing a cover of it live over the last couple of years. So when we were doing this record, and as the guy said, we were doing it where we were leaning into the Spanish more, it made sense for us just to do our version of that Los Panchos song that was, made famous several decades ago.
And then Something Else, that was a kind of a lockdown experiment and an idea that came from Martin, our manager. He had messaged us and been like, hey, I think you guys would sound cool and it'd be a fun cover if you guys did this Eddie Cochran song. And so me and Jerry, I did a short little demo. I think I only did like a verse and a chorus or something, and I laid it out and I sent it to Jerry. And then him and I just bounced ideas back and forth until we kind of had a sound that we liked. And then we just went to his basement and recorded. Actually, I want to say Jerry's playing drums on that song.
On that one, yeah, that's the one song I get to play drums on. That's fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because And this was also during lockdown. So, Emilio, you were in San Antonio at the time, I believe.
Yeah, but I have the idea for the video though.
You do have a good idea for this. Can't say that yet.
I guess
That was kind
I
of.
guess
Go ahead, Jerry. Go
I
ahead.
said my guess is it involves a barbecue.
Not this one, not this one.
But yeah, that's how that one came about.
All right, cool. So, two other tracks on the record I got to hear out on the road several times last year, That Kind of Cowboy and Somewhere in Texas. So, can you talk about how those two songs have grown since you first started playing them on the road to these final studio versions?
Oh man, they probably sounded way different when you heard them.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Those were songs like I was saying, Sarah. Those were songs that we wrote during pandemic, and when we were working on an album, these are one of the many songs that wound up making its way to the album. But there was a whole batch of songs that we were trying out live, and that's probably what you got to hear. But when we started putting this record together, and we were using a lot more of the nylon guitar, and we were using this newfounded sound, this Tex Flex sound, it let us rediscover them in the studio for this album, and that's what you hear now. So it's a combination of this Tex Flex sound, which marries the Spanish flamenco pop sensibilities with some, even throwback 80s type production, drum sounds, things like that. So that's kind of, they got rebirthed for this album, I guess you could say.
All right, cool. So, assuming everyone's internet will cooperate with us, I wanted to do something kind of fun to introduce people watching not only to this record, but to you guys more individually. So I created this little wheel of songs from Tex Flex to spin with some corresponding questions that I hope you guys are down to answer.
You're so fun, Sarah. That's awesome.
You're so fun.
Oh, all right. Let me screen share it. Ta-da. So
Okay, hold on. Let me see this. I got to get closer to my screen.
I'll read them to you too. But
Okay.
we got 6 questions. There's 3 of you, so you can each take 2 questions.
Okay.
Perfect.
So who wants to go first?
Me.
All right, I will spin it.
So cool.
That's awesome.
Okay, every time we dance, what song never fails to get you up and dancing?
Oh, How Soon Is Now, The Smiths.
What's she gonna do it?
And then I just start, and then I'm gone.
Love it.
Good.
Okay,
Very cool.
who wants to go next?
I'll go next, and then Jerry.
Okay. That Kind of Cowboy. Describe what kind of cowboy you are.
I'm the kind of cowboy that, I don't know, I'm not very cowboyish, only in that I love barbecue. What kind of cowboy am I? I'm the kind of cowboy that never wears shorts because I'm not that kind of cowboy. I can't wear shorts. I always have to be in pants, or I'll even do some chaps or leather pants or something, but I can't be in shorts. That's the kind of cowboy I am.
Fair enough. Okay.
Cowboy shorts.
Mia Moore, what's your favorite love song, Jerry?
Oh my God. God Only Knows.
That's a really good one.
The Beach Boys, God Only Knows, probably my favorite love song.
That is a good
Yeah,
one.
that could be the greatest
I
song.
guess, is that considered a love song?
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like, I wrote this song this morning.
I honestly thought it was gonna be the Bryan Adams one, the
Oh yeah.
I've Never Loved a Woman.
I thought it was gonna be that one too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah,
Jerry, God Only Knows is a love song for sure.
it is, right?
That's
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Great.
Diego's turn again.
This is great. Fantastic.
Friend zone. What's a funny story you have about another bandolero?
um. Oh, this isn't fair, is it? Uh. I'll throw this. I'll say a funny story about myself. How about that? Sarah Brown. So we were playing in San Antonio. This is like the early days of the Last Bandoleros.
Mhm.
And we were playing with the band called the Mavericks. At Floor's Country Store. What year was this, Fuentes? 2017?
16 or 17. Yeah, about 5 years ago, maybe.
And we were really so excited. It was our first time we played at Floor's, and it was one of the first times we played with the Mavericks. And so we finished our set, and we get off the stage, and they're all excited. And Raul comes up to us and goes, "We want you guys to come on stage with us at the end of the set or whatever." So we go to the green room, and we're drinking tequila, and let's just say your boy had a little bit too much. And we go on stage with the Mavericks, fast forward an hour later, and I had this brilliant idea that it would be fantastic if I did a stage dive into the audience. No one caught me. So then I had scrape on my arm, and yeah, it was a silly moment. So that's kind of
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, the Mavericks are so cool.
They are awesome.
I love them.
Are you referring to Percy Cardona and the Mavericks?
Okay, this one's for Emilio. What's a new artist or song that you recently fell in love with?
I don't know the name of the song, but I just saw Japanese Breakfast on SNL a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they were fantastic. And we're actually going to be playing with them at that Fork to Farm festival, so I'm pretty excited
Oh, cool.
to see that. And I don't know the titles to our own songs, so I don't remember what song they were doing, but yeah, Japanese Breakfast was cool.
Song where she hits the gong.
Yes, that one.
All right, cool. Well, this isn't much of a surprise, but we'll spin it anyway. Somewhere in Texas. Talk about the first place you'd take someone who's never been to Texas.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow. First place that I would take someone who's never been to Texas is by far, it depends on the city that I'm in, but it is definitely going to be a Tex-Mex Mexican restaurant. Depending on what city I'm in is going to dictate what restaurant I take them to. But someone that's never been to Texas, the first thing they have to do is try Tex-Mex food. No question.
Cool, cool. Okay.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yay. Good. Okay. I've got more boring questions now. No more wheel spinning. But if you guys were advertising this record to someone who had never heard of you, what single track from Tex Flex would you have them listen to and why?
Oh, wow.
He's got the track list in front of him. He should answer it.
Oh man, that's interesting.
I know.
I feel like we'd all have different answers, but to keep this one short, I would say either Every Time We Dance or oh man, it's tough.
I'd say Maldita.
I would say
that one in Maldita.
Yeah, I would say Every Time We Dance in Maldita.
Cool, cool.
But I'm also really in love with a song called Mi Amor on the album. And when you see us live, which you'll see us soon, Sarah, we come out, the three of us, in these ponchos.
Ooh, fun.
Emilio comes out front and we do like acoustic little part of the set. It's really, really fun. And that song, Mi Amor, is becoming one of my favorites to do live.
Ooh, cool.
But yeah, I would agree with Jay. I would say Every Time We Dance or Maldita.
Mhm. Well, if you're watching this and you listen to Every Time We Dance and Maldita, they're the first 2 tracks. So
That's
just listen to the rest of the record.
Yeah.
So, what for each of you would you say is the biggest highlight of Tex Flex, either sonically or lyrically, for you?
This is fun because this isn't so funny. Like when you become a songwriter, a lot of the times you're like, I want to take it serious with my art and stuff, which we've all done, and it's fun to do that. But sometimes it's fun to write something like Friend Zone, which was, I'm proud of the little slang that we're throwing in. That's part of our culture and part of our upbringing. Um, and Friend Zone is littered with it. And I think that it's fun to not take yourself so seriously. He said, wearing a poncho and about to put on a mariachi suit. You know, I think it's fun not to take yourself seriously, and I'm most proud of the fact that we're having fun and we're kind of doing it on our own terms, so to speak, and really speaking to how we grew up and our culture, which I can't stress enough. It's super fun that we were able to do that.
I like Fall in Love Again because I feel like it's something that we've sonically that we've never done before. Um, kind of like a sweet love song, but we did it in the style of a bachata. It's a bachata. It might be the first bachata song where the lyrics are all in English. Um, and yeah, I think that's a cool one. Jerry? Oh, Jerry's frozen. At least his eyes aren't closed this time.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's trolling us. It looks like he's doing it on purpose. I can almost see him wanting to smile, even though I know.
So with the album officially dropped, what's coming up next for you guys?
Are you there? Sorry.
Go ahead, Jerry. She wants to know what's coming up next for us after the album's drop. I was about to say the tour we're about to do. Why don't you take it from there, big boy?
Yeah. This whole thing, the whole Zoom app just closed on me right now and relaunched. Yeah. I don't know if I guess it's my internet. I missed the last at least minute and a half of that. So sorry, guys.
Oh, good. Go ahead. She wants to know what's up next for us.
Now that the
well, we're about to go live in Germany for a couple months, Sarah. It's going to be amazing. We're touring with a big band in Germany called the Boss Haus, and we get to play I think 20 something shows all throughout Germany. We get to play in the Netherlands with which is with Robert Plant, which is going to be insane. But yeah, we're excited about a European tour.
And then we'll be back in the States in the fall, and we'll see everybody then.
Cool.
In fact, I mean, we play tonight, the 30th, so I'll see you guys at the airport in a little bit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Is there anything you guys want to talk about that I didn't ask about?
I'm curious what your favorite song on the album is.
Okay. So I was fully convinced before I listened to it that it was going to be That Kind of Cowboy. Wrong. It's not. I love That Kind of Cowboy, but I keep listening to Mia Moore and Somewhere in Texas, just like on repeat. Just that pairing. I love both of those.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Well, that's great to hear.
That's great. I was gonna ask you, but I didn't know how the answer was gonna be of what you thought of how much That Kind of Cowboy changed, because I know you were a fan of it, and it probably must have shocked you a bit to hear the treatment that we came up with at the end of it. But I was curious to see what you thought of the transformation of that song.
Yes, it's very different from. See, I have a video of that song from every show I went to last year, apparently.
Yeah, the Nirvana version. You have the Nirvana version.
But yeah, no, I really like how it ended up. It's so different that it did surprise me at first, but it turned out really cool. I love it.
I'm glad you like the record, Sarah.
Yes. All right. Well, that is all I've got for you guys. Thank you for sitting down and talking to me. I'm digging this record. I think a lot of other people are really going to dig this record too.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for always keeping interviews fun and interesting.
Thanks, Sarah.
We'll see you
of
soon.
course. Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
Yes. Banded friends, go stream Tex Flex wherever you get your digital music. Go check these guys out on tour with the Boss Hoss all over Germany, Robert Plant and Alison Krauss in the Netherlands, and with the Gin Blossoms in the US. And keep up with the Last Bandoleros on social media to see all the scoop about new dates and whatever else fun they've got going on. And make sure you're following Banded PR too. See you around.